ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Spice. You're watching Afrique Today, and I am your host, Marie Grace Desi. And today I have a very special guest called Ina Jai. She's here to talk about the very issues that we're dealing with every day, and I hope you guys keep watching. Good morning, good evening, whatever you want to call it. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Why don't you tell the people about yourself? Who are you?
Well, my name is Ina Jai. I'm originally from Gambia. I do a little bit of modeling, acting.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for being here today. But it's an honor and a pleasure for us to have you here today on Afrique Today. So tell us, today we have a lot of issues that are happening in our societies, which is why we're here on Spice. Spice is a platform for us young people to express ourselves, to talk about our everyday issues, talk about our everyday madness, things that happen to our beautiful brothers and sisters in our community, things that affect us and things that help us develop. Today we want to talk about, what is the right age to have sex?
Wow. Okay, for me, I think at the right age to have sex is at least 19, 20. Because I feel like if you are younger than that, like, you should be worried about school, homework, and stuff like that. So you don't need a boyfriend at that time to be, distracting you. When you are 19, 20, you're in college, at least at that time you are matured a little bit. So at that time you can get into boyfriend, situation like that. And but I think when you are in middle school, grade school, and high school, you shouldn't be thinking about sex.
So what do you tell a child who feels like they're ready? Or do you see, you said 19, 20, and do you think there's a question about being ready, or is it something about, it's an age thing? Because a lot of people age, and a lot of people speak about being 20 and not ready. So how do you address a child who is around the age of 15 to 20 telling you that they're ready?
Honestly, I don't think physically, I don't think they're ready. They just think they are, but they're not. Because for me, an example, I didn't have sex until I was 20. I didn't even think about it because my parents, the way they raised me, you cannot have a boyfriend or think about sex until you are 20, older. I wasn't, when you get married. But so some things, sometimes when you're in a different country, things happen, which is understandable.
So you think it's a religion thing? You also, we know that religion affects the way you think. We know that the way your upbringing affects the way you think. Your environment affects the way you think. So do you think that for yourself, was it more of a religious thing? Was it more of a personal choice?
I think it's both.
Yes.
For me, it's both, because as a Muslim, you're not supposed to have sex until you get married.
Absolutely.
Most people that I know, Muslims, they don't
follow the rules.
They don't follow the rules. Nobody's perfect.
Absolutely.
You know it. I cannot judge anybody.
Yes.
Only thing I can do is pray to God that forgives me.
Yes, absolutely. I understand. So we have constantly seen issues where we deal with young ladies who feel as they are ready to have sex. But is it a thing about, am I really ready, or am I being pressured? Because we live in a society now where society dictates how you want to act. For some, not for everyone. I'm speaking in general. Society put a lot of pressure on others because a lot of the kids growing out, the new generation, want to follow the trend. And there's a trend about, if you're not a virgin, if you're still a virgin at a certain age, you're not cool or you're not perfect. So what do you have to say to the children who are listening? What about that?
I think, like you said, society play a lot of part in it, and people care too much about what other people are saying. And it's a thing now. Most people nowadays, like, if you're a virgin, they don't want to even mess with you. They'd rather have somebody else that have experience already. So nowadays, it's like, okay, since it's like that, let me also go ahead and do it.
Right.
And I don't think they should be thinking like that. At the end of the day, think about yourself.
And it's a lot of pure pressure.
It is a lot of peer pressure.
Absolutely.
It is a whole lot, because it's like, if I'm having sex and you're not, they'll be like, oh, like,
you're not cool
putting
enough.
You down.
Absolutely. And I really do applaud a lot of the young women who are standing up for themselves and saying, I don't need to do it because you're doing it. I don't need necessarily to follow your lead. A lot of us, we don't have a lot of leaders. A lot of children don't want to be leaders anymore. I won't want to call them followers, but they're not, standing up for themselves and being themselves. Is pretty tough out here. So do you think that where you're from does affect your way of thinking?
It does. a whole lot. And I also think your parents too, because if you have someone that's there for you to advise you, that will help you. But if you don't have that, all you have is the people outside. It's like you just gonna do whatever your friends or whoever is out there is gonna do for you. I mean, that's doing the same thing.
And I also think that pressure, having parents do play a big part. But I also want to say that sometimes it looks like parents are being hypocrites in the eyes of young people, because this is what this platform is about. We look at things not only from our point of view, but also from the kids' point of view, from the young people point of view, and the parents' point of view. So sometimes you would have a child who is looking after their parent, and they're thinking, okay, you had me when you were 15, so why would you tell me not to go experience the world? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, for that, like I said earlier, things happen. Just because your mother had you when she was 15 doesn't mean the same thing have to happen to you. And as a mother, and I believe that most parents that if that happens to that sort of things like that happen to them, they will most likely give their kids advice like, this happened to me when I was this age. I don't want this to happen to you because I went through all this just to feed you. I don't want that for you. All I want you to do is go to school, have education, you know, and be independent. Do things for yourself. Don't depend on a guy to do anything for you.
I understand. This is a very powerful message. This is a very powerful subject, and a lot of our young women and men are dealing with it as well, because the peer pressure does not only comes from the men's side, it comes also from the woman's side. Not only from the woman's side, because this is where there's more pressure, but young men are also dealing with this issue, you know, and this same issue is causing them to go through a lot of injustice, a lot of penalties, and it's important for our young people to know that there is no rush into having sex. There is no rush into experiencing the world. A lot of them would say live once, live like, you know, there's no tomorrow. But living like there's no tomorrow, they need to understand that does not mean I have to do stupid things. It just means I have to be wise with the choices that I make. I have to be wise with the things that I say. So just because I don't want to deal with consequences, I have to enjoy life little by little, because it's precious. It's a lot precious to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to advise the children out there to be very careful, to not be in a rush. Do not succumb to pressure. Do not succumb to anything. Do what your heart tells you to do. Make the right decision. Most importantly, make sure you're ready for sex. But there is no pressure. Sex is not going anywhere. But I want you guys to understand that even for adults, it's not easy. Life is not a rush. Life is not a race. We all go in our own path. We all go in our own time. Of course, the 5 fingers don't have the same the same height. That's what I always say. What works for another must not work for you, and you must not always learn the hard way. You can learn from someone else's experience. We're gonna be right back after this.
Salut, chers téléspectateurs, je me nomme Ben Djedjou, sénégalais d'origine, directeur des programmes sur Afrique Today, spécial conseiller en communication sur Afrique Today. Aujourd'hui, j'ai le plaisir de venir vous présenter une émission qui va passer sur notre chaîne bientôt. L'émission s'intitule Audience. Audience est une émission qui va recevoir des personnalités de tout bord pour parler de sujets importants. Alors, ratez surtout pas ce rendez-vous la semaine prochaine. Audience, c'est sur Afrique Today.
Campagne de vacances pour un atelier de recrutement de dessinateurs amateurs dans la ville de Douala.
Un atelier d'animation DD t'offre l'opportunité de réaliser tes rêves les plus fous.
Tu as entre 8 et 18 ans, tu es passionné des dessins animés, inscris-toi rapidement auprès de la direction de ton établissement à 1000 francs CFA seulement, au plus tard le 21 mai 2018.
Et contacte le 693 49 62 89 ou le 697 53 13 87.
Une campagne organisée par YP Productions, Afrique Today et Eagle One Entertainment. Vous allez nous tuer!
It's Young John, the wicked producer.
Shape your
Welcome back to Spice, you guys. Welcome back. We're honored to have you here today again. I had a question for you. We had last episode we had a discussion about if a woman is drunk, does she put a man in a position of rape? That's the first question.
Yes. Because sometimes I think, like when I go out sometimes, I feel like most guys, like if you meet a guy, they offer you drink. Sometimes I feel like they're doing it just to have you.
Right.
That's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong.
Right.
And then after, because when you are drunk, you don't know what you're doing. Like,
That is actually true.
you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're doing, and then before you realize it's too late. And I think most guys take advantage of that, and they use you for that, and that's wrong.
Okay, so that question I definitely agree with you, but I also want to flip the script on you in a minute, because when you're drunk, you're vulnerable.
Mhm, very vulnerable.
You're put in a position where you let other people take advantage of you. But let's not forget that liquor does not give you. It does not make you crazy. It just gives you the audacity to do things that you would not regularly do on a daily basis. It just gives you some type of audacity, So now I wanted to know that we all agree on that first part. It does put a man in a position to turn to a rapist. But I do want to say, if a woman is drunk and she gives herself voluntarily to a man at that point in time, and the man accepts it, kindly accepts it, without any force or any type of brutality, do you think that he is a rapist? Do you think that he's taking advantage of her?
Nope. Not at all. Because if you're doing something that you know exactly what you're doing, that means that you actually intend on doing it. You want to do it, so you cannot blame him for that. You cannot wake up the next day and be like, oh, you raped me.
Yes, our last guest had an opinion. She actually said in the beginning, yes, she feels like he is taking advantage of her, because she feels like, as she says, as a man with good education, with good morals, you should know not to accept that kind of thing. But let's not forget that we're all human. Let's not forget that the flesh is weak. For those who do believe in God and know that, the devil works in mysterious ways. We all understand that things happen, and sometimes temptations do take place. So do you agree with her when she says it's all about your way of education and your morals? Because I told her that women to receive an education, and as a woman you should not put yourself in a situation where you're most likely going to be taken advantage of. It is one thing if you're walking home and you get raped, but if it's one thing you find yourself in a man's apartment and you're drunk and you're removing your clothes, it is not his place. Of course, if he cares about you, he would help, put your clothes back on and do all those things, but it is not his place to think for you.
I disagree on that, what she said, because I feel like if you are gonna drink, control how you drink it.
Exactly.
You have to think about like what's gonna happen, what
consequences.
could happen. Right. So why put yourself in that kind of situation knowing that things can happen if you cannot control how you're drinking? Because I've seen it happen. People overdrink or do too much of everything, and at the end of the day or the next day, they were trying to figure out what happened the day before. So why put yourself in that kind of situation? Just, if you're gonna drink, limit it. Don't drink a lot that you're gonna be worried about what happened the day before. So there's no such thing as, sometimes I feel like it's not a mistake, honestly, because it's like, for example, for me, if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna make sure I just drink one glass, because I know I cannot control if I have more than one.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're drinking Hennessy and you're drinking the whole bottle of Hennessy, knowing that for sure that when you drink this amount of liquor, you cannot control yourself. So you're putting yourself in a situation that things gonna happen.
Absolutely.
And you cannot blame people for that, because for me, I kind of think it's the person's fault.
And emotionally, I feel regardless of what you're going through in life, and you decide to just drink, the moment you take yourself to that bar and you decide to take that drink, obviously there's something going on in your mind and your emotions. You understand? There's something that you want to cover, and you start drinking. You understand that there are consequences.
Exactly.
Obviously, that is the first. That's the beginning to your plan. That's the beginning to your plan. You're already planning on putting yourself in a situation with a guy that you like, and you're drinking audacity. You're drinking courage. I feel like you're drinking courage, because people, they react differently. For example, when I drink, I don't want men to touch me when I go out. I don't, because I feel a bit vulnerable. And if I let you act a certain way and flirt with me, that means I wanted to. That's how I wanted to feel. I wanted you to make me feel that way. You understand? Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying.
So for some, they want closure. For some, they want separation. So the choice is yours at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today and we want to thank all of you guys for watching again. And the choice is yours. Remember that the choice is yours. What advice do you want to give the young people out there watching you about the sexual thing?
One thing I can say about the sexual thing is don't put yourself in a situation that you're gonna end up getting raped. You know, choose your friends wisely. Hang out with people that you know for sure they're gonna advise you, actually give you good advice not to do certain things. And for the rape thing, the same thing too. If you know that you cannot control your drinking, don't drink. Limit yourself, control yourself, and be in an environment that you know for sure, like my friends got me, like if things were to go out of hand, they're gonna be there for me.
And okay. And I also do want to advise the guys, yes does not always mean yes. It's the reality of life. It sounds crazy for you men, but understand that yes is not always yes. Because a lot of women don't think they're the same. A lot of women don't have the same morals. And some are just out there. They're just mischievous to hunt. They wanna ruin your future. The devil is out here. The devil is working. Understand that in God we trust. We want to say thank you guys for watching today. We want to say be careful out there for the young people and also our brothers and sisters watching. And I hope to see you guys every Sunday on Afrique Today. Don't forget to follow us on our 4 platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also our Facebook page. Thank you so much for guys. Thank you for being here today. And next week I have something special for you guys. And God, we bless you guys. Thank you.